Hey y'all, this is Casper. Casper just came in. Got dog aggressive issues, apparently. He's very under-socialized in every way possible. No leash work, barks and yells at screeches at dogs. When he's out on walks, you can see how he approaches the dogs as well. He's just never really had the chance, but you can definitely see now that the dog is not dog aggressive. It's very different aggression to what you can hear him a bit, to what this dog is showing us. So he's showing me that he's under-socialized, never really had good socialization, or at the same time, whenever he was lunging forward towards the other dogs, whenever he was lunging and carrying on the way that he was carrying on that got him here in the first place, nobody ever taught him, no, this is not what we do, this is how you're supposed to do it. And not necessarily because they didn't care or they didn't want to do it, they might not know. So that's why it's very, very important as well, that when you do get a dog, you've got to remember one thing and one thing only. You are challenging Mother Nature every single time you take a dog into your home. You do that and she's going to let you know just exactly what you need to change in your life. So classes are very good with a good trainer as well. People that are not going to talk to you about being the alpha pack member who's going to tell you about you got to be dominant, you got to be more assertive, and things like that. Guys, it's just really not necessary, and it's not their own studies and their own findings through work and repetition or any history of the work that they've been doing. It is Cesar Millan's teachings. He's the first one who said assertive pack leader. So anytime you hear that sort of stuff, you might want to step away from it and just find somebody else, because there's no point going out there finding somebody successful and you imitate those people to try to become successful yourself. It's not going to happen. So finding good classes with people who actually understand the dog and who is going to train a dog and understanding a lot as well. Dogs, of course, can be trained to do a number of things. You don't have to use... Here we go. See? Here we go. So going back before, this is just a bit of a nothing really. So going back to what I was saying before, you don't have to use adverse measures. It doesn't have to be extremely painful. You don't need shock collars. You definitely don't need prong collars in training the dog. You just need to take your time and understand. So what a lot of us, or a lot of people, actually, I'm not going to say a lot of us, because I used to probably think like that a long time ago, not anymore. It's just definitely never saw the results that I really wanted, so I tried different methods, different techniques, and I like what we have now, what we've been practicing for the last couple of years, and I really like it, and it does show a lot of great results as well. The dogs are a lot more happier. Come. Good boy. And that is that behaviour is changed by consequences. That's just number one. There's no other way about that. Behaviour is definitely changed by consequences. Now, consequences doesn't have to mean that a consequence, when you think of it, oh, you know, it's something bad. It doesn't have to be something bad. So it's finding out what the dog actually wants, what motivates the dog, and not allowing your dog to actually get to this, or not allowing the dog to have what it wants at that point in time. That will make the dog try and, the idea is always to make sure that the dog understands that it's its own behavior that is causing the ceasing of the treats. It's its own behavior that it's causing the ceasing of going and playing with other dogs, or playing with the ball, or playing with different sort of things. So there is a lot of different things that you've just got to find what is that motivates your dog. And then you're going to use that against him. For example, we had a lady on the talk show about a month ago, I think now, that she said that her dog would not respond when she's around other dogs. At home, fine, sit, stay, perfect dog. When it goes out to a dog park, the dog doesn't listen to her, doesn't do anything. So my advice was to her is that to use the dog the dog's on the other side to make sure that the dog does what he wants. So if you want to go over to the dogs, you go over, have a bit of a play, call the dog over, you give it a good pat, and you give it a couple of treats, and don't put the dog back on the leash. Just leave it, say, good boy, let it go. The dog goes back, as a reward, he goes back over towards the dogs. So we're actually using the dog wanting to go towards the other dogs as the reward for the behavior. So we're going to use that to get the dog what he wants to do. Okay, you want to go back over to the dogs? Sit, stay. So the dog sits, stays. When he does, good boy, off you go. And off it goes to the other dogs and just to be on and play. Because really, at the end of the day, if you got to compete, it's you, a bag of boring treats, or a piece of kibble, or whatever else you've got in a dog's butt, and playing. You're going to lose 10 times out of 10. There's absolutely no way on the planet. So what we can do is get the dog to come to us. When it comes to us, we're not going to be putting a lead on it. We are not going to be taking the dog away from the park. We're going to give it a reward, good boy for coming, and then let it go back. So we are coming as obedience and letting the dog go back off to the dog. That's their dog's reward, because at the end of the day, you can't compete with that. And if that's what the dog really, really wants, it's not going to happen. So the worst thing you could do when you're at the dog park and your dog is not coming is put the leash on and take him away. The dog very quickly will learn that when he does what you tell him to do, he's not, that's it. Everything good ends right then and there. So we can't allow that to happen. So what we need to make sure that happens, the dog comes, good boy for coming, you give him a reward, pat, boom. If he likes treats, he likes treats. If he wants to sort of play, obviously, he likes a tug, whatever it is. You got to find what motivates your dog. Every dog is different. Let the dog go again. You do that again, and you do that again. So every single time you call the dog wants to come towards you. The dog wants to come near you. So then at the end of the time, you just call the dog, he comes over, and out you go. And that's how you get a dog to come to you in a dog park that does not listen. There's no point in grabbing the dog as soon as it comes to you because it's not listening and you're yelling, "Oi, come over here!" And the moment the dog comes here, you put the leash on and you take it out, the dog's going to go, "I don't think so. Next time this is not happening." So we got to be very smart and very specific with our training, whether you're a trainer, whether you're a dog, whether you're just an owner. You got to be very specific. You got to be very, very smart in making sure that you use what the dog wants the most to get the behaviors that you're asking the dog to do. So, number one, think outside the box every single time. Use the very distractions that are causing the dog not to listen to you as a reward so that you can get out of the dog what you want anytime. So that's it for now. Just a bit of an introduction to our little friend Casper. And so at the same time, you see here, the dog is not going to listen to me right now. So if I was to sort of call him, "Casper, come." Oh yeah, well there you go. Okay. But usually when you're doing that, because he's sniffing, you call the dog, "Casper, come, Casper," or you just say, "Come, dog." They don't listen to you. And the reason being is because whatever is out there is a lot more interesting. They do have needs. So what I would be doing in a situation like that is wait till the dog is coming towards me, sort of like shaping behavior, waiting till the dog comes towards me. When he gets closer to me, I'll give him a reward, "Good boy." So I start off the positive. It's not even about being positive reinforcement only, because that does not work. I understand a lot of people out there think that works. It doesn't. It turns out you can't go a whole life without reprimanding your dog or without correcting your dog. It just doesn't work that way. It can't work that way. Behavior is shaped and changed by consequences. So there is obviously corrections, there is ways, but they don't have to be harsh. They don't have to be out of this world, because if that's the case, you've got to think of one thing as well, that whatever you're using, say if you're a trainer and you're using an e-collar, if you're a trainer and you're using a pinch collar, you're only using it 3, 4, 5 times max. Because if you know how to use it, you will never have to use it again, because the dog understands that it's behavior that's causing that. But if you have to, the dog has to live with that collar, or every time he has to go out with the collar, it means that it didn't work. So there was no change in behavior. So the dog didn't understand, your timing might have been off. So there is a lot of things that could be causing the fact that the dog has to stay with an e-collar on or with a prong collar on every single time, and you haven't changed anything. Behavior hasn't changed. Nothing has changed in the dog. So if you are using those methods and you are in your state as well, you're allowed to do so. You're using that so that you shape the behavior, you're changing the behavior, and then you never have to use it again, because the dog now understands that is not okay, and the dog won't do it again. But if you have to keep these on, it's not working. You need to change. You need to look into acclimation period. You need to look into a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing some seminars very soon, guys. And this is more about training dog trainers, but we will get to the general public at some point in life, and how to really train a dog, what it really means. Because the idea here for us at CBE is to change the way that people view a lot of dog training, especially here in Australia. It's not about being an alpha. It is not about being the pack leader. The alpha dominance theory, you can throw that out of the window. I'm sorry, whether you agree or you disagree, it's fine. That's no problem whatsoever. If you disagree with that, that's fine. You're entitled to your thing. But at the end of the day, it does not work. Because if it did work, you would see a lot of the changes. And if it did work, a lot of the dogs that do come here to us wouldn't be here in the first place, because they do go through training with different trainers. Either they go and stay with them, or and then they end up back here again, because it doesn't work, and it's not something that is going to work. So we need to change the behavior. We've got to remove it, replace it with something completely different. But at the same time, we've got to make sure that the dog wants to do it. Come. Good boy. Come here, mate. Come. Sit. Shush. See what he's doing? He's trying to work me. Leave it. Shush. And you see, because I've trained him today that if I say to him shush and he does shush for a couple of seconds, he gets a treat. So he was sitting down, shush, and every time he did, this is what he was looking at. The treat bag. Because he wanted treats. Sit. Good boy. So, no, he doesn't even want it. All right, so, shush. Shush, come. Come here. Guess what? Oh, it's a good boy. Come here. Good boy. And a good boy. There he is, a good dog. What's the matter, mate? What's the matter? Eh? You're doing very well, aren't you? Okay, so guys, we'll inform a little bit later as well of what's going to happen with, as I just spoke about, doing seminars and doing training. We're just getting a lot of everything ready at the moment. That's why the Facebook page hasn't been very busy at all. It's just there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and just don't have enough time in the day. The talk show as well, couldn't do the talk show the other day. We have a dog that's here for dog aggressive issues. He has attacked a lot of dogs, very, very big dog. But the dog has been severely abused by humans. And the dog, once he goes off, he starts getting set off. Whether he sees a dog in the distance, he tries to attack humans, he tries to attack whatever is in his vicinity to get there. So it's just taken a little bit of time to try and get this dog to trust the human in those situations, probably where he has been trying to attack. So he gets extremely harsh corrections with the kicks in the stomach. I don't know, like, it's very hard to tell because the dog unfortunately can't say it to you. But the people that did bring the dog out, they rescued the dog, and they did say that the person that had the dog was kind of very extremely rough, tied up under a house and blah blah blah. So he has made life a little bit hard lately, but we are getting there. We're coming across to him, and it's working out pretty good. So we'll be back on the page with a lot of stuff very soon. We've still been videoing things, so we will put these stuff up as well. Leave it. Shush. Shush. Come here. Come here. Leave it. Good boy. Good boy. Attaboy. So yeah, we'll be back very soon, and talk to you guys extremely soon. Thank you. Good on you, mate. Good boy. Good dog.